European country's national police takes that soldier into custody, detaining him or her on politically motivated charges. A prison sentence abroad is a distinct possibility. A spouse behind bars for defending freedom, a son or daughter robbed of their mom or dad, all on the initiative of some prosecutor in the net of conviction. The prosecution can rely on hearsay to obtain a conviction. There's no real guarantee of a speedy trial. And instead of facing a jury of one's peers, it's a panel of judges who aren't subject to any American accountability. We have responded anyway, the way
He's talking about the International Criminal Court that seems to think that they're supposed to control the United States. And we're basically telling them where to stick it.
responsible nation must by condemning the investigation, by suspending cooperation with the court, and denying visas to those most directly responsible for going after our personnel. We welcomed growing criticism and calls to reform the court from countries like the UK, Germany, and Japan, because for a time it looked like the IC might do the right thing and kill the investigation committed by its forces and personnel in the West Bank and in the Gaza Strip. Given Israel's robust civilian and military legal system and strong track record of investigating and prosecuting wrongdoing by military personnel, it's clear the ICC is only putting Israel in its crosshairs for nakedly political purposes. It's a mockery of justice. More than 300 members of Congress, Republicans and Democrats alike, recently sent me letters asking the United States to support Israel in the face of the ICC's lawless, politicized attacks. That's what the U.S. is dead set on doing, and it's about $250,000 U.S., give or take. This record of prosecutions and poor judgment casts grave doubt on the court's ability to function at the most basic level and demonstrates the highly politicized nature of this institution. Which brings me to the reason we're all here today. The Trump administration is taking the following actions. First, we're authorizing the imposition of economic sanctions against ICC officials directly engaged in ICC efforts to investigate U.S. personnel or Allied personnel against that Allied Tokyo trials after World War II to the more recent Yugoslavian Rwanda tribunals. The United States has always sought to uphold good and punish evil under international law. We will continue to do so. When our own people do wrong, we lawfully punish those individuals, as rare as they are, who tarnish the reputation of our great U.S. military and our intelligence services. We hold our own accountable better than the IC has done for the worst perpetrators of mass criminal atrocities. Today we stand for more clarity, we stand for sovereignty, we stand for our citizenry, and I want to thank each of you for being up here with me today, and I'll turn the podium over to Secretary Esper.
Well, thank you, Secretary Pompeo, and thank you really for your
I don't always trust Pompeo. He just seems kind of Nazi-ish to me. I don't feel right about him. But I got to say that he's really intimidating. And he seems to care about the things that matter, like trafficking of human beings. And he seems to have a personal vendetta, in my opinion, against these people. And so I applaud him on that stuff. And when he needs to set people straight, he's not afraid to do it. Although I think he might be a little bit too intimidating to get the bad guys to negotiate with us. He's very effective, I think. Hopefully, I don't know what to make of Mike Pompeo, but I liked that speech.
And concern for our service members. Thank you for that. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here for this important announcement. Today, the President took necessary and decisive action with an executive order that will protect American citizens. The United States maintains the sovereign right and obligation to properly investigate and address any of our personnel's alleged violations of the laws of war. We have a proven record of doing just that through an American justice system that is eminently capable of handling each cases. This includes investigating and prosecuting the alleged abuse of detainees or any other misconduct. Ultimately, our justice system ensures that our people are held to account under the United States Constitution, not the International Criminal Court or other overreaching intergovernmental bodies. Moreover, the United States troops have served in Afghanistan over the past 19 years. More than 20,000 of them were wounded in combat, and regrettably, nearly 2,000 Americans brave Americans laid down their lives to stop terrorism, to protect U.S. and allied citizens, including those in The Hague, and to give the Afghan people a chance at a better life. We will not allow the unjust treatment of these or any other American personnel who have dedicated themselves to the cause of justice, security, and opportunity for all. Today, our service members remain on the front lines of the fight. Together, we once again call on the ICC to respect international law and American sovereignty. We also ask states parties.
And we shouldn't have to be calling on the ICC for anything because we never agreed to be a part of their court system. In case anybody isn't aware, this isn't a global country. We are independent, we are sovereign, and we intend to stay that way. And the only people that agreed to these things is our own personal communists who will be happy to hold everybody accountable for anything they do internationally. So there's no need to try to force our hand, but in case anybody isn't aware, we're not part of the international communist criminal court systems that these globalists want us to be a part of. Just saying.
To the Rome Statute to ensure the ICC respects our decision. And we reaffirm that the United States will continue to uphold the rule of law, to honor our commitments, and to defend our core values. Thank you. I'll be followed by Attorney General Barr.
I think we should just
thank you, Mark,
that deal altogether,
Secretary Esper, Secretary
along with the
Pompeo,
United
and
Nations.
as many of you know, not only are they great cabinet secretaries, they were soldiers and great Americans, and I'm privileged to be here to join them and Attorney General Barr. As my colleagues make clear, and as General Barr will make clear, we are here today to not ratify the Statute of Rome that founded the ICC, and successive administrations have stood by that decision. As a result, the United States and its citizens are not and never have been subject to ICC jurisdiction. Second, as Secretary Pompeo laid out in detail, the ICC is a failed institution. Despite repeated calls for reform from our allies in the United Kingdom, Japan, Germany, and other countries, the court is ineffective, unaccountable, and is a politically motivated bureaucracy. To make matters worse, this specific investigation of Americans, and we will never allow our American soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines to fall under the jurisdiction of that court, of that purported court. We do not need a corrupt and politicized international body to second-guess our system of military justice or our system of civilian justice for soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines who have left the service and may be brought before a court. The men and women who serve this nation are accountable to the Constitution to which they swore an oath, to their Commander-in-Chief, and to the institutions established by the American people, and to no one else. We will not
to authorize an investigation into the conduct of U.S. personnel who were fighting to defeat terrorists in Afghanistan and bring peace and prosperity to the Afghan people validates our long-standing concerns about the ICC. This institution has become, in practice, little more than a political tool employed by unaccountable international elites. These people wield this tool to manipulate and undercut the foreign policies of a democratically accountable sovereign nation and other nations, including the United States. The United States, as has been mentioned, has never consented to ICC jurisdiction. Worse yet, we are concerned that foreign powers, like Russia, are also matters, including recent matters, and it has, in our view, may well have a bearing on the current investigation announced by the ICC. The Department of Justice, together with partners across the United States government, is investigating, and we are committed to uncovering and, if possible, holding people accountable for their wrongdoing, any wrongdoing that we may find. The executive actions announced here will ensure that those who assist the ICC's politically motivated investigation of American service members and intelligence officers without the United States' consent will suffer serious consequences.